Hey YouTube, Rob Lally with Lally Artistry. And today we're going to start a new project. I want to do some canister Damascus. But I want to use cable. And the cable I have is like super rusty and pretty gnarly. I cut it up. I don't want to do it in cable form. I want to do it in these little twists so it's kind of got that pattern through the steel. But we got to get these cleaned up. And to do that, we're going to use science. Specifically, electrolysis. Pretty easy thing to do. We're going to clean these up and we'll just let them soak in electrolysis for, I don't know, a few hours, check on them, make sure we're good to go. If not, leave them longer. And really, all it takes is a tub of water, baking soda, a battery charger. It's going to be one of the old ones that are not smart. You can do it with a 12-volt battery, but you will run your battery dead, so you might want to keep your new style charger on the battery and then hook up from there. That'll keep it going. And some kind of sacrificial steel, and I've got plenty of it. A little bit of wire. Not much, don't need much. And I made a basket out of metal just to put the pieces in and suspend it from the bottom, so it can work real well. And that's pretty much all you need. I'll bring you down to the table, we'll set it up, we'll turn it on, and we'll watch it happen. So, okay, we'll be right back with you guys. And we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I'm personally going to add the baking soda to the water. I don't know how much. We're just going to get crazy. We're going to go, yeah, that much. You probably want to do this in a container you don't care about because this is going to get all gross. Take and stir it up and break it up. Get it, because we're basically making electrolyte solution. So we'll get that stirred in. Now, what I want to do is I'll take my scrap steel. I'm going to hook it right there. And the positive goes on your scrap steel, but I'm going to take this wire. I'm also going to connect it to the scrap steel and the bucket to kind of help hold everything in place. Down in there. Okay. Now I'm going to take this other side with another scrap piece of steel. I'm just going to wrap it. You don't need to go crazy. Like so, this is, we're just making an electrolysis. I will tape it just so that nothing weird happens or anything like that. And it'll keep it from slipping into the water. So, just take some electrical tape. Tape it in place. That's down and dirty. So basically we have one to the other. Now we're going to fill our makeshift basket. We'll get as much in there as we can. Get them all laid in there nicely. So I want to have as much as I can to fill a canister. You can see they're all rusted and gross. And when you're doing Damascus, the last thing you want is rust and gross. So we're going to clean these up first. Yes, I know this isn't really blacksmithing, but if you got rusty tools, you got something that you really want to care about but not destroy, you can do electrolysis on pretty much any kind of metal. Stainless steel is a different story. But you can see I've got a metal basket too, so that'll conduct the electricity through it. Get as much as in here as we can. so now we're going to take our stick. Our stick's just going to go across. All that's going to do is hold it. And you know, we might want to make our basket first. What I might do is just do this, help hold everything in place. Wrap it right around like that, so nothing can fall out. Okay, now we can make our basket. Bring them together. This is going to be metal wire, so it conducts through it. Take our little makeshift basket. Well, gotta go lower. That's why we twist. So we can adjust. Almost all the way. A little bit more. Okay. So I like that. Okay, so we take our negative side and we connect it right to our wire. And that's going to travel right down through. My leads aren't the greatest, but. And then I run it at 2 amps. Hit charge, and away we go. Now, in a minute, we should start seeing bubbles come up through. And believe it or not, that's hydrogen. So try to do this in a well-ventilated area, you know, away from flames, stuff like that. So we shall let this cook. I can already start to see the bubbles on the sides over here next to the electrodes. Remember, we're passing current through all of this, so this should start cleaning up pretty good. And these are sacrificial steels because when you're all done, they're going to be pretty gross. Because you're pulling the rust off these, and the rust is going to go to these sacrificial steels. So we'll just let her sit there and cook. So, okay. We'll be back after this is done for a few hours, and we'll take a look. Alright guys, we'll be back. Okay, just a little update. It's been about 10 minutes. The water's really starting to get crusty and nasty. I'll turn you around, you can take a look, and if you get down close, you can actually hear it working. You can hear the bubbles, you can hear the electrolysis going on. So, alright, we'll get you turned around and get you down close. Okay, the water's already getting pretty gross. Now you can see, get in tight here, you can see the bubbles. Even off the electrodes, there's a good shot. Except now the electricity is passing through each of these, which, because of the baking soda in the water. And if you look down under the wire rope, the cable is actually starting to get cleaner. And it's only been probably about 10 minutes. So we're just gonna let it run, keep an eye on it. You know, every couple hours, check on it. Once the rope is clean and it looks good and the rust is removed, then we're done. Okay, so here it is the next day. I let it run overnight at 2 amps. I got it off. So let's take a look at the electrodes. You can see they're all rusty because it was pulling the rust from the parts that I wanted clean. So we'll just unhook it. Negative, of course, off. And here's a good look at it. That's the positive electrode. Like I said, these are just scrap steels. Here's our basket. And I did end up putting some bandsaw blades in there. That's good high nickel stuff. So we may add that into our canister. Now, you can dry these off. You can even wire brush them still. I'm still going to wire brush these a little bit to get any residue or anything like that off it. But that is to get the bulk, the nasty, not the stuff that's stuck right in there. You know, the bandsaw blades just need to be clean. The rust is gone. There's going to be pitting. If it's rusted, it's going to be pitting. But you see a lot of it can wipe right off. So we'll just wipe them off with a rag. Hurry up and get them into the canister that we want to do. You know, give them a quick Scotch-Brite. Just make sure we got everything off them. And that's probably it. Next will be getting ready for the canister, and which, while that was welding up, or while this was doing its thing yesterday, I put together the canister. Inside you can see I have stainless steel, and that keeps the steel on the inside from forge welding to the can. We don't want any mild steel in our canister Damascus, so I use it's an old chimney pipe. Well, I say old, but the one with the all the refractory and stuff on the inside of it. And I have a piece of it here. Steel, it's triple wall pipe, double wall pipe, whatever they call it. And on the inside of these older ones, they actually have K-wool. So if you're looking for a source of K-wool, if you have some old pipe kicking around, check inside there. So if you're relining a forge or something like that, it's a good place for it. So we're gonna get these cleaned up and then into the canister and then into the forge. Yeah, we'll go from there. All right, guys, we'll be back. Okay, so we have our canister ready to go. Like I said before, it's got that stainless steel on the inside so it peels away. We have our wire cleaned and ready to go. And we have our bandsaw blades. This will be our high nickel brights in our Damascus. And then we have our 1080 powder right here. That is also steel, it's just in powder form. So now it's just a matter of getting everything in there and tightened and packed. I just want to kind of throw some in, move stuff around, throw in some nickel here and there, and get her compacted nice and nice. So I think that's probably about as much as we're going to be able to get down in there. So now, we may cut these even and drop these little pieces in. So why don't we do that? That way we've got this whole thing filled up and we can just fill it full of powder. So I'll be back when we're ready to put it in the forge. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, we're getting ready for our first forge weld on the press. You can see I've got my squaring dice, a couple pieces of angle iron, so I can squish all the way around it. We'll go ahead and get it out of the forge and do our first press. Okay, and there you go. One billet of canister Damascus. It's ready to be forged out now to a knife. And now I probably won't be doing that anytime soon. Just trying to get billets and stuff ready for orders or anything that pops up. There's about 4 pounds of steel here, so if you do it right, you could probably get a couple good knives out of it. Somebody wanted matching hunting knives or even a really nice big chef's knife. But again, you gotta keep this up at forge welding temperatures because I had to grind out some cracks, and there's a little one there that as I go, we'll grind them out and get rid of them. Everything looks solid, everything feels solid. I didn't find anything that was really like, nope, that was a failure. So stay tuned. We'll eventually get this into a knife shape. I got a little antsy and just drew it out because I wanted to see what the billet looked like and everything. Did a quick etch, and you can just barely make out the cable in there because it's a quick etch, just to see where the best pattern is on the blade. And this is what I'll do next. I'll cut out my shape. These are shapes that I've already found that I like and that other hunters like. It's good in the hand, good size. So we'll get her cut out, and then we'll start doing the profiling, thinning her down. And the farther I go in, the more and more detail you'll see on the cable itself. So these are just how I do my knives. Some knives require forging to shape, but I've already got 2 days just in this billet alone. You know, by the time we did the electrolysis and got the oils and everything out of, and the rust out of the cable, and preparing the canister and everything else, it's a 2-day process. You know, if you gotta wait for that stuff to do its job. But now with this type of billet, you can cut and shape. Some Damascus require, like a feather pattern requires, you know, you forge the tip ends that the feather goes up and stuff like that. This does not require that. This is, you know, and it's already an expensive piece by the time that I even cut this out and do it. Now, if I have to hammer the forge shape and everything else into it, I've got to take into account the cost of the propane to do all of that, my time to do it, and everything else. So this is just a faster, easier, cheaper way for the customer to get a nice piece at a decent price. So we'll get this cut out, and then we'll move on from there. All right, guys, we'll be back. Okay, so our profile is all set. Nice and straight. Got to drill, this is where I'll drill the holes in the handle for the epoxy and take some of the weight out of it. Then we'll mark up our grind lines and figure out where we want to go to. And then pretty much it'll be ready for heat treat. Once she's heat treated, then it's, you know, taking it up the grits, doing, and then getting ready for hand sanding. So we're getting there, but now on to the next step. Get our pinholes drilled and some other holes for the weight, and then on to doing the bevels. All right, we'll be back. So there you are. Primary bevels are in. We will refine them afterwards. All the holes are drilled to lighten the knife a little bit. She could still need a little bit more to weight off, but you know, I think we will be down to where we want to be as we flatten everything, and it's gonna be a nice knife. It'll be good for camp or gutting a deer, or you know, any kind of cutting that you need to do. We'll refine her down, but now we're ready for heat treat, and that can make or literally break the knife. It is time to make it hard, and then that's the key to making your Damascus stick out, is hardening the blade and making it, it's something about the grains, it just really works nice. I see no flaws in the steel whatsoever. I think it's going to be a really, really nice knife. I can kind of see some of the pattern hiding and coming through as I do this. So let's get her heat treated and then tempered, and then, you know, we'll be back. It's looking good, feeling good. Okay. Look. Beautifully straight. I'll just let her pull down the oil. She's super brittle at this point. She could break still. So we want to hurry up and get her tempered as fast as possible. There. There. Okay, we'll be back. With the temper, after tempering. I've done it in other videos. I don't need to show you guys every single time I temper a blade. Pretty simple to paint it until you get that nice straw color with like a hand torch. And then it's on to final grind, and then hand sanding, handles, and everything else. So, on to the next steps. Alright guys. Alright, so it's been a few days since we worked on the knife. I went ahead and finished it. I had some time and forgot to record everything, to be completely honest. But here it is, all finished up. We'll start with the sheath. I always like to use Kydex. Of course, the wind's going to blow. But Kydex sheath, nice little belt clip. We've got the knife all finished. We'll get in close. We'll have some still shots. We went with an epoxy with eucalyptus burl. Absolutely stunning handle. I love this knife. It's gonna be really nice for somebody who's looking for a really high-end piece at a decent price. So yeah, we'll put the still shots in the end so y'all can see it. And if you are interested in this knife, it is up for sale. Just go on to Lollier Artistry on Facebook. It'll be there. You can contact me there. Yeah, so any questions or anything like that, hit me up on here. Like, follow, subscribe, and yeah guys, so we build the next one. Alright, I'll talk to you later.